What is going on, everyone? Today was one of the craziest days in the market in a long time. The 8-day winning streak is now over. Jerome Powell got fed up today and dropped the F-bomb on some protesters. We have Warren Buffett that might have been doing some insider trading over the past couple years, and we have some great setups for tomorrow. There's a bunch of action in the market right now, and we have a great video today, so make sure to stick with us all the way to the end. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, the market was pretty nuts today. Tesla actually kicked things off to the downside this morning, Mike, and had a big drop. They fell under 220, broke 218 there, and man, they ran all the way down to 207 at lows. And I'm showing this because the overall market had a pretty big pullback as well. It was fairly choppy early on this morning, but it ended up slowly but surely getting down there towards 433, 433.50. So the SPY is officially back under 435, which it's been holding above for the past couple days. So I will be watching this closely. And Mike, we've been waiting for a pullback to come in, right? It's funny that the market goes down on a day where Powell drops the F-bomb, of course.
Yeah, so let's talk more about that. We all know our guy Jerome Powell normally keeps his cool pretty well, but today he was just fed up. The last time he spoke, or the last major time he spoke, protesters stormed his event out of nowhere and caused this big problem, and they did the same thing today, and this time he was just done with it. Roll the clip, Tom.
We expect growth to moderate in coming quarters. Of course.
Jerome Powell, by refusing to treat climate change like a systemic risk,
thank you.
You are putting us at
Thank you very much.
economic disaster.
Thank you very much.
Climate change
Yep.
will threaten
Thank you. Just close the fucking door. Close the door.
Yeah, and you can see how Powell here is obviously very fed up, guys. It's not every single day that Powell will drop the F-bomb like that. Go ahead and rewind it and watch it again. I mean, I heard it. I went back, Mike, and I watched it about 1,000 times, right? Anytime you hear him drop something like that, it's obviously big. But he did even talk about the economy today, and he said that, the Fed's not confident, and they said that they are still trying to bring inflation down to their 2% goal, right? He pretty much just reiterated what he always says and says that they still have work to do. So I don't know, Mike. The highlight of the day was the F-bomb for me, to be honest. I thought that was the one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time. And I don't know what those climate protesters are trying to get done, but I would say do that, maybe at some other events, right? Obviously, these guys aren't going to be able to fix like what Congress is passing to help with climate.
Close the door, Tom. What's the funniest part about this is not actually what Powell said. It's the fact that Powell, of all people, said it. Because when you think of Jerome Powell, you think of like a calm and, just collected guy, right? He keeps his cool very well, but he's just sick of these protesters. And it's just, it's something that no one was expecting. But yeah, like you said, Tom, the rest of the event wasn't anything too out of the ordinary. Powell basically said that there's more work to do with inflation. And the market's like, you know what? We're kind of overbought anyway, so how about we just tank down a little bit more?
Yeah, exactly. The market was doing pretty damn good the past couple weeks, and now we're getting that big pullback coming in, and we've been waiting for this pullback to finally happen here, and I'm watching a couple key levels on SPY for tomorrow. Hopefully we can get back under there and maybe get some more put action tomorrow, but I'm really going to watch this 433.30 to 433.50 support. There's been a few different times where this has been touched, so if we can break that tomorrow, maybe we can continue this down, and who knows, maybe Powell will drop another F-bomb, and then we'll that'll bring some more selling pressure in.
There we go. Yeah, so looking at the market right now, it is definitely still overbought in the short term. The market has been on a great run over the past 2 weeks. But when you zoom out a little bit more, the market is still controlled by the bears and it's been that way for the past couple months. And what's interesting is that the market has actually been in a drawdown for almost 2 years at this point, which is, a decent amount of time. But what's kind of scary to note is that 2 years is not very long for a drawdown at all, especially when you reference the most other two recent drawdowns. In 2009, there was a 4.5-year drawdown, and from the dot-com bubble, there was like a over a 6-year drawdown. And basically what this means is it took 4.5 years and 6 years to eventually retest that all-time high in the market. And when you look at historical data for drawdowns in the market, sometimes we see drawdowns that last for 2 years, sometimes we see drawdowns that last for a couple months, and sometimes we see drawdowns that last for 20 years. So it's like, you know, just something worth noting, because the money printer has been off for a little while now, and it's not necessarily expected to come back on like it was in 2020 for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, sometimes these drawdowns can last a long time. Like, let's look at the drawdown from the Great Depression, right? Like, look at the bottom of the screen here. Pretty much from like 1929, 1930, all the way up until 1955, the market was in a drawdown technically, because, you know, of course the market's going to be moving up during that sometimes, but until it breaks that high, it's still in a drawdown. So I'm sitting here watching the SPY, Mike, and I'm wondering, well, how long is this drawdown going to last? And I sure hope that it doesn't last 4 to 5 years. You know, that would make for some pretty choppy trading, but if the economy keeps getting worse and Powell keeps putting pressure on it, like he says, they're not done fighting inflation yet. So I don't know. The market keeps pricing in like easing coming soon, and maybe like May, June of next year, they start cutting those rates. But he just keeps trying to push that narrative of like they're not done yet.
Exactly. So, you know, keep a close eye on the market going forward. I am definitely I'm a little bit bearish in the short term. I don't necessarily expect like a full-on like crash, of course, but, you know, when we have a market that runs up this much this quickly, plus we're starting to see some, I guess you could say, not great news come in, it makes it a little bit easier to fall. And especially when you have some of these big tech stocks like Tesla that had a down day of like 5.5%, you know, that adds some direct selling pressure into the market. And then when you look even further, like Nvidia, which is another big tech stock, and a lot of other ones are still trading at some very high valuations. And that just makes it even easier for the market to roll over. So I'm a little bit skeptical in the short term.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Mike, NVIDIA actually just hit off of a major resistance today. Look at this 480 resistance hit. It actually moved above it a little bit intraday, but if you start seeing a lot of selling pressure come in, I feel like there could be some good opportunities for puts here, whether it's NVIDIA, whether you're looking at SPY. Even if you go to SPY, you go out to an hourly chart, you can see that this is a pretty big double top going on right here. I'll actually draw it out with some arrows so you guys can see it pretty good, but this double top on the market, if this keeps holding for the next few days, the put opportunities will be pretty good. But of course, always be prepared. There will always be some choppiness no matter which direction you go.
No doubt about that. So I saw an interesting piece of news today with Warren Buffett, good old Warren Buffett, where basically it was shown that he might have done a little bit of insider trading over the past couple of years. So there's not any like full-on proof just yet, but basically it looks like Warren Buffett was buying some stocks in his personal account and then buying a lot more of those stocks in Berkshire Hathaway's account. And as we all know, Berkshire Hathaway is a pretty big player. So when you buy stocks in your personal account and then you buy tens of billions of those same stocks in your funds account, Berkshire Hathaway, that kind of acts as a little bit of a conflict of interest. But, you know, Warren Buffett hasn't been like formally accused of anything just yet, but I'll tell you, I wasn't expecting this news.
Yeah, and he did say in 2016, he says, I try to stay away from anything that could conflict with Berkshire. So, like, obviously he knows that he's not supposed to do this stuff. But imagine at some point, right? Like, he's an investor. Maybe he decided, like, today, well, hey, I want to buy some Disney, right? And then maybe they go have some meetings at Berkshire, and then they decide, well, hey, we want to buy Disney too, right? It gets kind of weird, like, whenever you talk about that. Whenever you hear insider trading, I always immediately think of something really negative, right? And like Nancy Pelosi passing a bill right after shorting NVIDIA or something like that, or, you know, so some type of situation. So in this one, it just is, I feel like he's in like the wrong place, wrong time, right? But I tried to figure out what stocks were traded. They have to go back to 2009, 2012 to really see like some examples from his personal account, but like Wells Fargo, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart were mentioned here, but we don't really know. There's not a lot of info on his personal account, because I thought it would have been really cool to hear the stocks that were specifically mentioned or the ones they're really looking at.
Exactly. So Warren Buffett he's in the clear so far, but I guess it's just something something interesting that you wouldn't expect. But that is the market drama for today, Tom. For tomorrow, we do have a couple things on the economic schedule, but it's definitely not going to be as exciting as today and as some of the other days this week. But what do we have to watch out for?
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, the Michigan consumer sentiment will be pretty interesting. With all the negative connotations surrounding the market lately, I feel like there might be some weird stuff with this sentiment, although the market just ran up the past few weeks. So we'll have to see how these numbers come in, Mike, but the sentiment always affects things at least a little bit.
No doubt. Alrighty, so that's that. There aren't really any major earnings, so we're in the clear there. So let's get right into some setups and predictions for tomorrow. A stock I'm watching very closely is QQQ, and it's to the downside. So I was pretty bearish on QQQ in last night's video, and it had a decent drop today. It was definitely helped by the news intraday, and I think the momentum can continue. Again, I'm not expecting any historical drop or anything like that, but I can definitely see more selling pressure come into QQQ, especially if we continue to see Tesla move the way it did. That will add some direct, powerful selling pressure right into QQQ and SPY.
Tesla was pretty bad today. I got to give it there, Mike. I mean, that was a pretty rough stock. If they trend down towards 200 tomorrow, that's going to be brutal for the market. I hope that doesn't happen. But my first play is actually, this is, you know how we usually talk about day trades on the channel, right? Or we're going over breakout plays. Sometimes we mention stocks that we want to hold too. This is one that I would look to maybe buy and hold here over the next few months. Maybe start a position for some shares, right? Now, I wouldn't go all in here. The stock's a little bit high. You might want to average in here, leave yourself some room in case it drops that you can keep averaging in as it goes down. But the thing that I'm looking at here with Take-Two Interactive is Grand Theft Auto 6. These guys own Rockstar Games. So if we actually go to Unusual Whales' Twitter, they had a pretty good tweet where they said that TTWO plans to announce Grand Theft Auto 6 as early as this week, and they're going to have a trailer for it coming out next month, apparently, already. So I think this is great news for TTWO. This stock has done amazing. If we go to a weekly chart, you can see how Grand Theft Auto 5 was revolutionary in the gaming world, and look at how much TTWO ran up during that time. Once GTA 6 comes out, this stock should get a lot of hype. So it's one that I'm going to start averaging into here.
All right, good stuff. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely is Tesla, and it's actually to the downside. So I know I've talked a lot about Tesla in a bearish way today, but it got smacked around and the momentum is pretty strong, and I think there's a decent shot that we see this one retest this $200 level pretty soon. And if the sellers really come to play, then we might even get back to that 194 level.
Yeah, that would be huge. I hope 200 breaks soon. Even a move tomorrow down to 200 would be a great scalping opportunity. So I'm with you there, Mike. I like Tesla there to the downside. And I'm actually looking at the market dropping right now. And I want to go look at UVXY because I noticed VIX started really roaring back today. So I'm going to keep my eyes on UVXY. That was a nice move. It ran about 6%. And if the market keeps dropping and Tesla runs down and we see a lot of tech stocks pulling QQQ and SPY down, I am going to watch UVXY. It moves up when that volatility increases. So hopefully that volatility keeps going up in the short term.
Sounds great. Yeah, it's going to be a great hedge play if the volatility does increase and the market continues lower. So I like the setup, Tom. I will keep a close eye on that one as well. But let's get right into today's momentum plays. And with the first one, we have Disney to the upside. And Tom, I'll tell you, it feels weird saying Disney to the upside because over the past couple of years, it has just been in non-stop free fall. So this is like a kind of like a change of direction right here.
Oh my gosh, it was beautiful. Disney ran up, and I'm glad it opened and went even higher. It ran up to 91. So if we're able to break that high there, right around $91.20, then look at calls.
Good stuff. With the next one, we have NVIDIA to the downside.
NVDA, right here to the downside, Mike. They're bouncing off 480. Remember, that's a huge resistance, guys, but it's kind of getting back into that chop zone from last week. So if it breaks under 467 tomorrow, then look at puts.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Coinbase for both directions.
Yeah, coin. I know Bitcoin's been going nuts lately. So if Coinbase can break out tomorrow up above $94, look at some calls. I like how it bounced there. It was a pretty good support there for a little while today. Now, if it goes down and breaks under 91, then look at those puts.
Sounds great. So we have the downside level for puts. We have the upside level for calls, and that's for Coinbase. For NVIDIA, don't forget about that downside level for puts. And then for Disney, don't forget about the upside level for calls. These are only plays if they break the levels Tom listed because they are momentum plays. If they don't have the momentum to break those levels, then forget about them. They're not worth playing. But if you guys are into short-term trading, you need to check out this premium portion of the Stocked Up Discord. To say today was a home run would be an understatement. SurgeBot hit it out of the park today. There were so many opportunities. I can go on for at least a couple hours about how great SurgeBot did today. Some of the LOY put options were up 750%. Tesla put options up 580%. Coinbase call options up 389%. MSTR call options up 280%. And this is all from open. This isn't even referring to the close over close price. So that was insane. But then SniperBot also crushed it and had a great call out with Disney call options. Those went from $129 all the way up to $237. And what's crazy is that these opportunities weren't even like a third of all of the ones that were presented today. Tom, if you go in the Profits channel, I know a bunch of people just crushed it today, and it was just amazing. So if you guys are into short-term trading and you trade options, this software is the best software you will find in the entire industry. It's insane. It has been released for 4 days now, and I've never seen anything like it. I'm going to leave it like that. And while we're in the Profits channel, we might as well give a giant shout out to today's Member of the Day, Ghost, who made a post with some Tesla put options. It looks like he made 245%, which ended up being around $525. So awesome job, Ghost, and to everyone else who's been crushing it.
Yeah, that was awesome today, Mike. The sniper bot killed it. There was a ton of awesome opportunities with the surge bot as well. It was just an amazing day for traders. And what's weird is that I feel like we go look at the SPY, it was actually pretty choppy all day. Well, at the end of the day, we started getting that bigger drop off to the downside. But for the most part, early on, it was pretty choppy. But the surge bot was finding those plays and firing them out. And we were getting some awesome results there. And I love the sniper bot play too. Of course, it's Disney, right? One of the best runners of the day. So what a day, Mike. You got to love days like this, and that volatility picked up. So what does that mean? It means those options are going to start flying up pretty well as those stocks keep moving.
Exactly. And then if you do decide you want to join, it'll be that first link in the description in the comments down below. We're also doing something brand new where we do daily recap videos to show you in real time how to actually use these bots to their fullest potential. And on top of that, we're doing weekly live Q&As. Yesterday was our first live Q&A. It was an awesome time. We had some great questions and a bunch of people learned so much. And we have a recording of this event. So if you want to join, you can also treat yourself to that. But again, it'll be that first link in the description in the comments down below. It is amazing. So check it out. But let's get back to the video, Tom. And it's now about that time for today's big money trade of the day, and that is with GLD. So someone dumped $1.968 million into the GLD. 187 strike call options that expire on March 15th of 2024. GLD has had a great past couple of weeks, but it's also in the middle of a pullback right now. GLD has seen a great uptrend for multiple reasons, but one of the main ones is due to the fear in the overall market and the increasing tensions and wars around the world. When people get freaked out, they buy things that they bought for thousands of years, like gold, silver, and other safe haven assets. So looking at GLD, I think the setup's good with this one, but it moves relatively slow, compared to your average tech stock. So as long as you're willing to give it some time, I think it's a decent setup.
Yeah, and what I really like about this is it's bouncing right off this 180 support. 180 is huge on GLD. It's actually been huge on GLD going all the way back to like November of 2020. There were even some hits right around 180 back then. But if we look at 180, I mean, there's been so many touches on this level and this stock moves. And what did we do? We ran up. We just saw a big pullback. Now we bounced right off of that support. We're seeing the big money hop in. If this continues this uptrend here, that big money play will do very, very well. So I'm keeping my eyes on that 180 support, Mike, short term. Hopefully that keeps going up. But keep in mind, these are out to March. They might hold this for a couple to a few months. It's hard to say, but we'll keep our eyes on it. And it's always fun to see big money getting into gold, because I've been waiting for gold to pull back for an entry because it got so high, Mike. Your premium play on gold was fantastic. We took some profits, and I'm kind of like waiting for that pullback now for another re-entry.
Beautiful. I mean, with everything being said, Tom, I'm super pumped up for the market right now. You know, we have a solid big money play. We have the market moving in exciting ways right now. SurgeBot is crushing it. We have some funny events with Powell, and, you know, it's a great time to be a trader. So I'm super happy, super excited right now. I know a bunch of you are crushing it, and if you're not, keep your heads up high, manage that risk as always, and let the opportunities come to you. And I think you'll have plenty of great opportunities over the next couple days and weeks.
Yeah, I feel like this just started to heat up, right? Like the SPY's sitting here, it's consolidating a lot. Like if we zoom out, the price action, there's been a lot of chop, like lots of up and down opportunities, but you can see it's been generally flat the past few weeks. If we start to finally break that big 433 support tomorrow, maybe we can start to, you know, look at some more puts down. So I love it, Mike. Keep your eyes on UVXY. That's my favorite play for tomorrow. And Mike, I don't know what your favorite play is, but that Tesla play is looking pretty juicy.
There we go. Again, if you guys want in on this crazy action, check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. These new bots have been crushing it. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life, so join us. It's been great, and besides that, let's make tomorrow the best day of the week. Thanks for watching.